I'm Marie, the host of Vinyl City Broadcasting, your transit express to rock and roll trivia. As you can see behind me is the graphic or branding of the Soldi Show. The Soldi Show was held in Montebello, California on February 23, 2019. We had the privilege and honor to interview one of the greatest doo-wop female groups of all time, the Chantels, who performed at the show. When you hear them sing "Look in My Eyes," "Maybe," and "He's Gone," and so many others, don't they take you back to a time of romance? The Chantels began their journey to stardom back in 1956 by meeting with Richard Barrett, lead singer of the Valentines. Original members consisted of 5 girls: Arlene Smith, Renee Minus, Jacqueline Landry, Sonia Goring, and Lois Harris. Today, the group consists of Sonia Goring Wilson, Lois Harris Powell, Renee Minus White, and Amy Ortiz. We'll let the ladies in the interview with VCB share their storyline with you. From 166th Street in the Bronx to Montebello, California today. It's quite a journey, and we're honored that we were able to take the trip with them. Before we begin the interview, we wanted to give an honorable mention to the late Jackie Landry Jackson, who passed in 1997. We'll also be presenting to the Chantels a Vinyl City Broadcasting Hall of Fame Award in recognition of their lifelong contribution, artistry, and preservation of rock and roll and doo-wop music. That was one of the highlights of the show, and it was quite an honor to present it to them. Well, it looks like Dan, our outside interviewer and contributor, and the ladies are ready in the green room. Run the interview, Rico.
Hi, I'm Dan. Thank you for joining us at Vinyl City Broadcasting. It is an absolute pleasure for me, Rico, and Marie at Vinyl City Broadcasting to sit down with the Chantels.
Yes, the Chantels.
It is so nice because of all the songs I've heard in rock and roll history, their one song, "Look in My Eyes," is way up at the top.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you. So we'd like to know something about you. So how do the Chantels come together, or how were you guys discovered? How did it come together for you? What's the history?
Oh, it's so long. We actually went to school together. We went to grammar school together.
Okay.
And
Like a lot of other well-known groups?
oh yes, yes. But we graduated from St. Anthony of Padua Catholic School. So we actually formed from band and choir. And after choir, we would go downstairs and start practicing. Well, we weren't practicing
religious music.
right.
We were practicing what we heard the guys singing on the corner
Yes.
sang.
But at the same time, we would apply the Gregorian chant to what the guys were singing.
Okay.
It doesn't sound possible, but the Chantels, we were doing it.
A little bit of a crossover like Ray Charles?
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. So how'd you come up with the name Chantels?
Well, actually Sonia should tell the story because she's the one who called me. I just kind of
Yeah.
reinforced what she was telling me and added a few little French touches to it.
Okay.
Yeah, well, the French touch was that, being in Catholic school, we all played CYO, Catholic Youth Organization,
okay.
basketball. And so this particular day, when I called Lois, we had won a game. And the school that we played was St. Francis de Chantel. And we said, God, we need to call Lois and find out what that Latin word means. St. Francis de Chantel. So we called Lois, and Lois said, St. Francis de Chantel? She says, well, the first part of that word is spelled C-H-A-N-T. And in Latin, C-H-A-N-T, chant, means to sing.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha. I didn't
And
see
I
that
added
coming, thank you.
French chanteuse is a female singer. So, and actually, it was Saint Jane Frances de Chantal. It had the A-L at the end, and we like the French sound of that.
All right.
It had a more sophisticated sound than the flattened A of Chantel. So once we got it together, so you said, oh, that sounds good, the Chantels. And we were the Chantels. Nobody pronounced it correctly. They flattened the A and made us the Chantels.
And not to be confused with the Chantays. That was totally different music.
Yes. So,
And the Chantels were born, and it's worked out well for all these years. Wonderful. So I know that you auditioned for Mr. Richard Barrett, whom I find very, very interesting in music history. Tell me about your association with Richard Barrett.
so we went down to New York City to go to the State Theater, I believe, to see one of the rock and roll shows because we wanted to get to meet anybody, but particularly we knew the Valentines were going to be on that show, and we knew that Richard Barrett was the one who discovered Frankie Lyman. So as we were walking, we were dressed alike, and this guy came out of the Brill Building and said, oh, are you sisters? And we said, no, we sing. And so he said, well, come upstairs. I can probably get you a record contract. So we went up, we figured safety in numbers, 5 of us, 1 of him. So we went, and I got distracted, looked out the window, and who was there but Richard Barrett, David, what was David's, Clowney, his last name, and Ronnie.
Valentine's.
Of the Valentine. He said, come down. And we said, we gotta go. We went down. And he asked us the same question, about being dressed alike. And we said, we sing. And he said, okay, sing something. So we sang what would become He's Gone. But at the time, it was a song that we kind of picked up from some of the guys' groups. We sang that, and he said, oh, you have potential. I could probably get you a record contract.
Hey.
And we didn't believe him.
Yeah, he says, let me have a telephone number.
And and then he said, well, I didn't lie to Frankie Lyman, and we knew that he discovered Frankie, so
Yeah.
we believed it.
We gave him a telephone number, and we really didn't expect him to
No.
call. We just said, this guy's not going to call us. A few weeks went by, and sure enough, he did call.
All
And
right.
that was the beginning of it.
So I know that all of you performed at the Apollo Theater for the first time. How exciting was that for you?
Very
What do you-
exciting to
what are your
do,
memories?
right?
What are your-
Scared and excited at the same
Okay.
time.
Because everyone had told us that you don't go to the Apollo and mess up. They're going to let you know if you're not good right away. They're going to turn their heads, and they're just not going to even applaud for you. So we were like shaking in the knees. Because at the time we were just 13, 14, and
So you're wearing long gowns, so you
16.
can't see the knees shaking, is that it?
you could see the heart.
Okay.
We were really scared. We also knew that people got booed off the stage there.
Yeah.
So, we didn't want to mess up.
Well, of course not. As I was saying earlier, of all the songs I've heard in rock and roll, but since 1953, actually rock and roll started in 54, but Look in My Eyes by the Chantels is one of my absolute favorites. It was going through my mind, the music, the lyrics, you're singing. How did that song come together for you? What's the history on that?
Well, first of all, Richard Barrett wrote
Okay.
Look in My Eyes. And he wanted us to do something in unison and then bring a lead singer out, because he felt it was important for also the other girls that were singing the harmony, the background and the harmony. He wanted us to be brought out also. So he said, I'm going to write a song so the other members of the group will get a chance to also sing lyrics. And then I will bring the lead singer out. And it was successful.
This is one of the things I've come to appreciate about music, is anybody can write a song, a beautiful song, but it takes the interpretation of the singers to get it across to the guy on the other side of the radio. All of you did that. You know what I mean? Because anybody can open their mouth and sing, but not everybody can open their mouth and be an artist. So it was just the right ingredient. It's like a cake. All the ingredients were, and you want to eat that cake again and again and again and again. So that song was absolutely a personal favorite. So tell us about your memories of Arlene Smith, your original member.
Well, there are lots of fond memories. We knew that Arlene was a very, very hard worker. When we recorded, she gave it her all. She was excellent.
Yeah. And now you've got Amy Ortiz
Now
helping out the music. Amy, honestly, Amy,
Doing a
you
wonderful
sing
job.
awesomely well.
Oh,
Thank you.
No, it's flawless.
Thank you so
Doing a
much.
great job.
No, flawless is a correct word. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Because
excellent job.
it's like I said, I don't like music. I love it. And when I hear flawless, it's like, oh my goodness.
Thank you so
You
much.
can't touch it. You can't improve on it. You know, it's like that cake. You want it over and over and over again. So what's happening with the Chantels in the year 2019? Any exciting places to go to?
Anybody else?
Well, we'll be in Florida in April,
Okay.
and after that, we will be in New York. Actually, what's happening in New York is very exciting for us because they are going to co-name the street where the church and school that we went
Okay.
to are St. Anthony of Padua, and the sign will say the Chantels, and then underneath it, maybe, and I think it's Legends
1958.
1958.
Okay.
So we will have a name in place on a street sign.
Outstanding. Outstanding, outstanding. A question I always ask people when I'm sitting down with them. Funny memories you'd like to share with us. So when you are sitting around having dinner, you go, remember that time in 1987? What funny stories do you have of being together? Any memorable stories that you just like to talk about?
So many funny stories.
Lots of funny stories.
Anyone in particular just stands
well.
out?
Oh, they're bad, but funny. Because, mind you, we're just 13 or 14, and we're in the South, and we decided that we wanted to go driving. And so we took the manager's key. Not one person had a license or anything.
Especially at 13.
And, oh yeah, and especially we're in the South in 1958, and we're going to take off and drive the manager's van. Well, needless to say, it wasn't funny when he caught us and found us in his car. But we had fun. We had fun.
And you can talk about it today about
yeah.
it. All
We took
right,
off.
all right. Well, we're going to see you lovely ladies back on stage later. We got a special presentation for you after the performance. And I thank you so much for sitting down with us.
All right, thank you for having
We're
us.
preserving your history. People that watch our channel can see who the Chantels are, and they'll probably be tuning into YouTube. They're hearing your music again.
So exciting.
So thank you so much for sitting down with us,
Thank
and
you for
I'll
having
turn it
us.
over to Marie at Vinyl City Broadcasting to conclude this show.
All right, I hope you get something out of it. And if you forget a
No,
couple
what do you mean got something out of it?
Like earrings.
No.
Wasn't that a terrific interview? We appreciate your sharing some of your history with us, ladies. Like how you came up with the name Chantels. The story of your contract with Richard Barrett. You ladies were upstairs in the Brill building in another record producer's office. Lois got distracted, looked out the window, and saw Richard Barrett and the Valentines down on the street. You shouted down to them, and Richard said to come on down, and you all did. He asked if you would sing something. You ladies sang He's Gone. He said you got potential, girls, and I probably can get you a record contract. Give me your phone number, and I'll give you a call. You thought nothing of it. A few weeks goes by, and Richard Barrett calls. The rest is rock and roll history. Then the story of being a little nervous the first time you were slated to sing at the Apollo. It wasn't your knees that were shaking, it was your heart thumping and shaking. And you young girls stealing your manager's vehicle to go joyriding. Good thing he had a sense of humor. Hope you got that out of your system. Just in case, ladies, Rico told me to hold tight to the keys of our classic 1967 Buick GS California. And as you can see, I'm holding tight. And it looks like 2019 is going to be a busy year for you ladies. After the interview, we presented Rico's Comp Billboard magazine cover to all the Chantels. A nice personalized gift to show our appreciation for their taking the time out of a busy afternoon to do the interview with us. We then returned to our hotel and then later back to Quiet Cannon Event Center where the concert was about to begin. All the acts were terrific. And then the highlight of the evening, when we were able to present the Vinyl City Broadcasting Hall of Fame Award to the Chantels. Show the pic, Rico. It's beautiful. It might be a little hard for our audience to read, so why don't you show a blow-up of the award, Rico, and I'll read it. In recognition of your lifelong contribution, artistry, and preservation of rock and roll and doo-wop music. You also rightly deserve this award, ladies, and we found it an honor to present it to you. Rico stayed on stage over to the side after the presentation. Thus, when the Chantels moved front and center to sing their classic Look in My Eyes and other hits, he got an incredible close-up video of them performing. All eyes were on the Chantels. Run the video, Rico. ladies. Your harmonies were as tight as they were when you were singing at the Apollo back in the day. And this time, no heart throbbing, I hope. Did you know that this year, 2019, is also the 60th anniversary of their hit single, Maybe? And on April 5th, 2019, East 166th Street and Prospect Avenue in the Bronx, New York, was changed with a street sign honoring the legendary Chantels in front of the church where they began singing. Show the pic of Arlene Smith and the Chantels holding the sign. What an honor, ladies. Check out the Chantels website at www.thechantels.com. While you're on their website, make sure you check out all their links. Purchase CDs, memorabilia, and check out their tour schedule. And just maybe, they might be coming to a city near you. We'll post all of the Chantels information on our last slide. Before we let you go, Chantels, and leave Quiet Canyon, we want to thank you for taking the time to do the interview with us and spending some quality time with all of you. We felt it only appropriate we close out the show with a performance by the Chantels singing Maybe at the 1999 Doo-Wop 50 show. Arlene Smith dedicated this show to the late Jackie Landry, who died in 1997. Run the video, Rico.
To introduce our original lead singer. Are you ready? Okay. Her name is Miss Arlene Smith.